I'm afraid my sister's husband is going to kill her or her kids. My sister and I had a horrible childhood filled with parental death, abuse, neglect, abandonment, etc. Drugs and alcohol were a huge factor. I turned away from those things and have never even so much as held a cigarette, much less anything else. I had one alcoholic drink 15 years ago but never again. I had my own issues with desperately seeking companionship and someone who would actually like being around me because quite frankly very few people ever did. I made bad decisions in the area of life but ultimately met my husband very young, 18, and we've been together ever since. He loves me and our kids and I am very happy. My sister unfortunately went down another path. She got pregnant basically the first time she had sex, at 17. The dad was another 17-year-old who wanted to do nothing but play video games and sleep. He worked a few part-time jobs while she dropped out of high school and ended up pregnant with his second child within a couple years. She finally left him, moved out on her own, got a full-time decent job, and went crazy. She was having big parties in the yard of the house she was renting, where she'd supply alcohol and all her new male friends would come and drink, some to the point of unconsciousness, and the rumor was that she was sleeping with most if not all of them during this time. Sometimes in the open living room while her children slept in the single bedroom. She often let these men babysit as well. There were even a few times she disappeared for 24+ hours with no contact, spending that time with a man while someone else took care of the kids. Surprising no one, she became pregnant. This child is 6 years old and the father is still not known. A couple DNA tests have been done. The man my sister thinks is the father moved away and was abusive. So now she has 3 kids. While pregnant with that baby, she met someone at her job and they started dating. He was there when her 3rd child was born. He worked, he supported them all, so she quit her job. They moved around a bit for his work and clashed a lot, but he was not abusive in the way most of her exes had been. She had baby number 4 with him. After 3 years, he met someone new and told her she had to leave. She moves back home into low-income housing. Dangerous apartment complex where shootings, drug deals are common. A little kid brought a loaded gun to her apartment thinking it was a toy. I begged her to get out. All this time she had only worked for that brief period before meeting the dad of baby number 4. She was living on government assistance and housing. She didn't know how to get a job with nobody to watch all the kids. She was stuck. She meets another deadbeat. He has a part-time job, is lazy, just wants to eat all her food. For years I begged her to get her tubes removed, as I had, after my second child because I knew my limits, and she scheduled an appointment. She was pregnant at that appointment. I helped her find an abortion clinic, at her request. She said she had no attachment to this baby and no desire to have a baby fathered by the most recent man. She went through with the abortion and broke up with that guy. A couple months later, she was with her current husband. He seemed okay at first, except he was only working part-time despite being in his late 20s. He just stayed up all night and played video games then slept all day because why not? A couple months into the relationship, surprise. She's pregnant. Her abortion had only been 3 to 4 months before. She was keeping this baby because her current man was deeply religious and would support her. Within weeks of finding out she was pregnant, and only a few months into their relationship, she called me crying to say he'd threatened her and her kids to the point she'd pissed her pants. She left him. Moved into a women's shelter and had a curfew. Broke the curfew and got kicked out. Moved right back in with the dude. When I told her she was going to get herself killed and she needed to find another way, she blocked me for months. No contact for a while. She has the baby. They're fighting off and on. He's violent and psychotic. He believes in things like reptilian government officials and the Illuminati. He won't keep a job. Won't help with the house or the kids. Neglects his animals. Just sleeps all day and plays video games all night. One night he got drunk and started slashing at his wrists, telling my sister he was sacrificing himself to the Norse gods so she would have money. In front of the kids. She called the cops, they did nothing. She stayed. A few months later they got drunk with friends and he accused her of flirting with one of the guys so he started pushing her down and threatening her. At some point she got her tubes removed, thankfully. She also legally married him. She's trying to leave now and he's threatening her, her kids, and himself. He's telling her to leave the baby with him because she has the other kids, he just wants his child. Even though he has absolutely no involvement in the care of that child. My sister has made so many mistakes. I know. But I've always felt like a combination of her mother and her sister. I've tried so hard to get her on the right path. I don't have the resources to do everything for her, but I have done as much as I could. My husband has too. And I am afraid that she or her kids might not make it out of this relationship alive. Last night she said he grabbed a knife and said he was going to kill himself, and asked her if she wanted him to do it in front of her or if he should go wake all the kids and do it in their room. He is dangerous. She has no income. Nowhere to go. We don't have parents. She's burned every bridge. I am under constant stress worrying about what is going to happen to her and her kids. And there's nothing I can do. I don't know what to do. And I'm scared.